Welcome everyone. Sorry for recording so late. Also want to apologize. I know I've been sharing these videos, Baruch Hashem, also with some B'nai Torah, Baruch Hashem, and I just want to apologize or explain why I use, when I translate, I use like this Encino language instead of the art school language, and it's because I want to share. I want to share teachings of Kedushas with the whole world, and so I'm translating in a way that might be uncomfortable for someone who's used to learning, but it's translatable in a way that other people can understand. Earlier this week was the art site of the Bereishis, so Chosing Line or Levi so Sashim Bereishis Chosing Line, and have a chabura where we learn the Torah and Shulchan Aruch, a private chabura, and we weren't able to learn. We usually learn Monday night and Thursday night. Baruch Hashem, tonight we learned, even though I was traveling. Monday night it was because I was working late and other folks that were working late. We weren't able to learn, but we got together a little later with one of the Roshei Chabura there, and we actually learned the first Torah from Kedushas Levi together, which was actually related somewhat to where we were up to in the Torah and Shulchan Aruch, which is very interesting and shows the Torah Lishma. I've been deciding to learn the second Torah, mostly just because it's shorter than the first one. And again, it should be a schus. The yard said, was earlier this week, was Monday. And that schus, the Bereishis is such a gewaldige like the Bereishis Rabs, who the Eli Wiesel said was his hero, the hero of the Hasidic movement, but really the hero of the world, the hero of the Klal Yisrael, the great defense attorney that we have. And before all this happened, we all had a feeling something was going to happen. And we knew that this year was going to be one of those years that the Bereishis would look at a year like that, and Osbeit Agitiyur. It's very difficult. Now it's very interesting. This week's Sedra, this week's Parsha, this week's Torah portion talks about the fourth day of creation, that God put up the sun and the moon, the stars, various luminaries, for signs and for seasons, and that indicates that there is something of a science to astrology that a lot of people would not take too seriously. Now the horoscopes that we find in the newspaper are just they are just silly. But the idea that the sun and the moon and the stars and the Oisis and Mayadim, we find this already in Chazal, and obviously it's something we see in the Chumash, even though it also says don't be dismayed by the signs of heaven. But we recognize that God put certain signs. And it's interesting, this month we have both a solar eclipse and a lunar eclipse. And I think tomorrow we'll be able to see a shtickle of solar eclipse from where we are. I'm heading now to Pittsburgh. I'm a little bit embarrassed, but I was discussing with my wife and with many people who are Miyaitz with. So we didn't cancel our plans that we had for a few months already, really for a year already. that we had these plans. So my wife and children, Baruch Hashem, they're there already, and I'm on my way. And so tomorrow is a solar eclipse, which the Gemara says, Naka Shemesh, Siman Ra'lo Masayim. That when there's a solar eclipse, literally when the sun is smitten, that it's a bad sign for the people of the world. And then the lunar eclipse, which is actually happening 2 weeks later, is Siman Ra'lo, is the name Shel Yisrael, which is a euphemism generally understood, but it could be both. Because the interesting thing is the reason why it's stated like that is because the Umas Ha'olam follow the solar calendar, and that's why the solar eclipse is a bad sign for them. In the Bnei Yisrael, we follow lunar calendar, so that's why it's a bad sign for the Soneim Shel Yisrael. However, the particular Sonim that we're dealing with right now, who I don't believe are actually following their religion properly and what they're doing, and many people who are actually following that religion have confirmed that. In any event, the point that I'm bringing out is that that religion, they follow more of a lunar calendar than we do, because we have a mix of a solar and lunar calendar. They have only a lunar calendar. So there's still Begetter Umas Ha'olam, so they could have a Petula tomorrow, and they could have also in 2 weeks when there's lunar eclipse their Ummah, particularly the Rishoyim, not the Hamanah, but the real Rishoyim, the Rotzkim. So, and if the other people, there's they're Toimich, there's the Rotzkim, for Umas Ha'olam there is Shlichus and Dvar Avera. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that with the eclipses coming up, 2 eclipses, it can't be a coincidence, but we shouldn't take it to be anything superstitious, but rather just the way that Chazal taught it, and we take it like that. Even though we know it's a natural phenomenon, but God set up this natural phenomenon in such an incredible way. And the big thing is to teach us faith. The fact that a total solar eclipse is even possible, which is not tomorrow. Tomorrow is the annular eclipse. But in 6 months from now, or 5 months from now, or 6 months, Rosh Chodesh Nisan is going to be a very major total solar eclipse. Is going to pass through New York State. So we're definitely dealing with major signs. As the Navi says, when the Satin Moifsim B'Shemaim B'Aretz, right? Dam V'Eish V'Simras Hashem. So we're dealing with very clear signs that mean something, and they should only mean things that are positive for the whole world. So, but let's get started learning, and then we'll continue. Afterwards, I want to sing, but another thing I want to recommend. There are a lot of nigunim from Levi Yitzchak Mitzvah Sashim and Bereishis discussing along this way. The Dudala and the Bereishis Loilam, Gatvan Avram, and Dudala is in Kedai to listen to, but also there's an English translation of the Bereishis Loilam of Kaddish from Levi it's if you look up on YouTube from Paul Robeson, the Hasidic chant, it's worth a listen. Even though Paul Robeson was a communist, but he had a beautiful singing voice. As Gevena Hartziger mentioned, he was actually very fluent in Yiddish. But his rendition is very powerful. And I, Levi Isaac, son of Sarah from Bereishis, say, I will not move from my place. Yiskadash, Shemei Rabo. Worth a listen. I love learning. Bereishis. So another explanation. This is the second Torah in Kedushas Levi. In the beginning, God created the heaven. In the beginning, God created. Nearer the Hine. It seems, behold. Kol ho'olamis, v'chol malachim, v'olam atachton, mikablim shefa, me'aborim yisborach. All the worlds, all the angels, and all the lower world receive their energy, the outpouring, the influence from the blessed Creator. All the life force of the world, all comes from God, and from nothing else, only from God. Because in the Pesach Elio, in the introduction to Pnei Zohar, Elijah the prophet, he said that if God would remove himself from the world would stop existing. This is, I don't know if I can continue learning, because when I was giving this year, I was getting fatigued. I still have 3 hours on my drive. So let's see what we can do, but let's maybe Lebedik. So Va'antu Neviu L'Chola. That's not how I remember, but you are the source of everything. Source of everything. But the thing is, the world cannot receive God's outpouring without many constrictions, as is known from the writings of Rabbi Isaac Luria, of blessed memory. Because the world are materialistic and thick when compared to the blessings and the influence and the energy that comes from God. Even the most pure thoughts of a human being, when compared to God's blessings and God's influence and God's energy, that is considered to be something that's very, very materialistic and thick. When compared to the direct life force that comes directly from God, without any symptom, without any constriction. So before God created this world, he had to create the higher worlds. That it could be like garments that God is garbed in, so to speak. That through this, the world can receive blessings that come down from God, the energy from God. These worlds are very pure. And considered in Isaiah 58 verse 1 says, You should be satisfied with the clarity and the purity of your soul. Without this filtration system, the people would not be able to manage with the light of God. So before this, God made these very pure garments. Very pure worlds, very pure attributes, character traits. In order that the worlds that are under them should be able to sustain the energy that comes directly from God. Bereishis. That's the simple meaning of what the scripture says in the beginning. God created everything, the heavens, the earth. Tevis es k'moy ata. Va'ata perish va'asa reverse kodesh. And then there's the word es hashemayim v'es ha'aretz, which are related to the word to come, to arrive. You came from the many abundant holy abundances. Deuteronomy 33:2. So Perushay, and that's what it means. Bereishis, Hakol Boras Olamos. In the beginning, God made all the worlds. They're very pure, clean, clear worlds. That God created before He created these worlds. In order that the heaven and earth could come to exist after that. S. This word S means like to come. That from those very high and holy and pure worlds could come the heaven and the earth. I think I've got a bloody nose. And so the schus of Heilige Levi and Bereishis, we should all have. God should have mercy on us, despite our many abundant sins. We don't deserve what happened, and it's too painful to just know that even these things happened in the world. We don't deserve it. We don't deserve it. We didn't do anything so bad. Maybe I deserve it, but they don't deserve it. Those people didn't deserve it. What did they do already? This is so bad. And then I'm thinking about the horrors of being taken captive. Much worse than dying as a martyr. Dying as a martyr, it's easy compared to living through torture and captivity and being held as a hostage. Rahman al-Atzlan. God should have mercy, set all the captives free. And so I wanted to sing a song, not from Bereishis, the song I sang in NCSY, even though I never really was a member of NCSY, but sometimes the rabbi would push I should go to the events and then sing songs. And I remember in those times, we had people we were davening for. Baruch Hashem, a lot of them gone free, whatever it is. But let's learn. Let's sing this song. Achenu kol beis Yisroel. Acheinu Kol Beis Yisroel Hanesunim B'tzara Tzara V'ashivyo Ha'imdim Bein Bayam Uvein Bayabosho Acheinu Kol Beis Yisroel, our brethren, the whole house of Israel, Hanesunim B'tzara, Tzara V'ashivya, Ha'imdim Bein Bayam Uvein Bayabosho. The ones Israel who were given to sorrow, to trouble, and to captivity, those who were standing whether by the sea or on dry land. Hamakom Yirachem Aleihem V'yotziem Mitzara Le'revacha Me'afei Lali'ora B'sheb'ud Le'ge'ula Hashta B'agolahu V'zman Koriv. May the omnipresent one have mercy upon them. Have mercy upon them and remove them. Take them out from darkness to light. Yotziem from Mitzora, Lirevacha, from that which is very constricted to that which is very expansive, and from darkness to light, and from captivity to redemption quickly and speedily in a time that is near. Hamakom Yirachem Aleihem V'yotziem Mitzora Le'revacha Me'afei Lali'ora B'sheb'od Le'geula Hashto B'hagola Uvizman Koriv. Alright, I've listened 3 hours to go. Still quite tired, but we'll try to upload this. Thank you for watching. God bless. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I hope Mitzvah Hashem to make it on my way. Thank you for watching. Let's how do I turn this thing off?